Welcome back to another episode of Tack Talk with Equii-Est, powered by Battlesbridge Horse and Country. Today I've got the lovely Rachel with me. You may know her as RayTheGoth on social media. So can you tell us a little bit about you and your horse?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Rachel, but most folks call me Ray. And I have a super cob called Pepper, aka the Coblet of Fire. And we just like to have fun and give anything a go. Hacking is her bit of sugar. That's what she enjoys more than anything else. But we've tried all sorts, so yeah. A good all-rounder.
Yeah, I love that. And if you could describe Peps in 3 words, what would they be?
Sleepy. Cute.
Oh,
and friendly.
Oh, I love that. Do you have any hobbies outside of horses?
Photography and photography and video.
Love that.
Yeah.
That's cool. How did you get into riding?
I grew up in South Africa. And I don't come from a horsey family, but we had a timeshare in the Drakensberg Mountains, which I know you're very familiar with.
What?
Sorry, the what? Who down? So yeah, we there was a riding club or riding school there, or they just did like tourism rides or whatever.
Okay.
So I was the same age as my daughter when I first rode a pony, and then apparently I didn't shut up about it. So I think I was only about 7 or 8 by the time I actually started lessons, so there was quite a gap there that I didn't stop going on about it for. And then, so I started riding then, and then it started getting a bit too expensive, and then I didn't ride again until I was in the UK. So,
How long have you been in the UK?
I moved here in 2006 or 7. I was 11, so, yeah.
That's so cool. Love that. Can you recall a specific moment or event that set you on the path to where you are today?
Can you ask me the question one more time?
Yeah, of course I can. Can you recall a specific moment or event that set you on the path to where you are today? No. That's fair enough. Has there been a specific person who's inspired you in your journey?
Well, like I said, I don't really come from a horsey family, so I didn't grow up watching, the people that a lot of people would call an inspiration.
Yeah.
But I would say Carl Hester is a big inspiration to me. I just think he's a fantastic horseman, beautiful rider, and I love his ethics around horses and the fact that horses should be horses outside of competing and stuff like that. I really respect that.
Yeah, I love that. Do you ever get nervous when riding? If so, how do you cope with the nerves?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. All the time. I've had a few confidence knocks for one reason or another, or a few setbacks, and I think you learn over time to A, trust your horse, and B, to take things slowly. So I think it's easy to think I need to get straight back in the saddle. Like after having Hazel, I got back in the saddle and thought I could carry on riding I hadn't stopped riding 16 weeks into pregnancy. Yeah. And had lost all ability to stay in the saddle.
There is no core strength.
And I did fall off and hurt myself, and that was a big learning curve and a bit of a reality check, and it took me a long while to get my confidence back. Out hacking and particularly cantering in open spaces really scared me. Okay. So
is that when the accident happened?
We were out in a field cantering when it happened, and we just came to a sudden stop, and I just flew off her head, over her head. So yeah,
thanks for that bump.
It's just a case of having good people around you who, your little cheerleaders who, no matter how small your goal is or whatever you're going through, they're there to say I'm here, we'll take it. You got this, man. So it's just building back up to where you were very slowly. I think if you rush things, that's when you can push your confidence even further back if things start going wrong again. So don't be afraid to go back to basics.
Okay. Sorry about that. We had minor difficulties. So what would you say your biggest achievement has been with Peps?
So when I first got Peps, she was really difficult to clip. Okay. And last year I actually took her to Your Horse Live, and she was there for a clipping demo. And I think that was I know it's not like a big show or anything, but I think the fact that she's gone from being absolutely terrified of being clipped to she was being clipped all day. that day. So from about 8:30 in the morning until the afternoon, having really intricate designs clipped into her.
Wow.
And she just took the whole day like it was nothing, even having crowds around her and all the noise and the hustle and bustle of a show. And I think that's, for me, is like my most proud moment with her.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not about the big shows, is it? It's about like the little things that actually you just think, oh,
yeah,
you've done it.
I'm so proud of you.
And when you brought her, did you have any specific plans with her?
I wanted a show cob, which I got. I did not want a mare. I did not want a bay. I did not want a green horse. I wanted a schoolmaster, and she was none of the above.
Oh.
So yeah, I wouldn't change her for the world now, but yeah, she was not what I was looking for.
You have quite a following on social media. Can you tell us how your platform started?
I think I've just kind of grown up with this wave of social media. So I've had like MySpace, Bebo, Facebook, and just kind of gone along with everyone else, really.
Gone with the flow.
Yeah, gone with the flow. And that's how I sort of ended up with Instagram. YouTube, I've actually had since 2006, which is the year after it started.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I started editing. There were pictures, like picture videos, so I just took pictures of horses and edited that together to like really like silly songs. And then it's just progressed from there. I just started Instagram like anyone else did, just uploading pictures of whatever I was doing. It wasn't even specifically horsey until I started part learning a cob called Sherman. And he was kind of I think he was the reason why I decided to buy a cob.
Yeah.
I absolutely adored him. And yeah, I just started documenting little bits with Sherman, and then I full loaned another horse called Bailey's, a little Welsh Section D mare.
Oh.
So I had her for a year, and then it was like, right, I think it's time to have my own.
Oh.
So.
I feel the influencer job role has become more prevalent over recent years. What would you say the hardest parts are about it?
I think it's being cautious about what you're advertising, because obviously I see myself more as a content creator, but if you are putting content out there and people are being influenced to buy products that you're using, that you're promoting, then you are obviously, you are an influencer, you're influencing people. And I think it's just being conscious about who views your content and whether what you're putting out there is appropriate for that group. And also just being sensible about safety and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
That's the minefield, I think. Not so much like actually making the content. It's more, is it designed for your audience? Is it safe? You know, that sort of thing.
Yeah. And how do you deal with any criticism or negative feedback?
I just block and ignore them now. There was a time when it really was affecting me more than I wish I'd ever let it get to me.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of other things going on in my life at the time. So it just, it affected me more than I wish it had. But now I just think, like, if that's what you're doing with your life, then I do feel sorry for you.
Yeah.
So just block, ignore. I work with professionals who do, they see me in pets. My vet's seen me ride her. She's regularly seen by physios and things like that. And I trust the people who work directly with us. So.
Yeah, definitely. Have you faced many challenges since your platform grew?
I think more just the hate has been difficult to deal with, but I'm coming out the other side of that now. I think I'm better equipped.
Prepared.
Yeah.
Oh God. How have these challenges shaped your journey, do you think?
I think what's been amazing is, even though there are negative comments, there's such a huge wave of positivity of people who have thanked me for putting myself out there because they see someone that looks like them, within the community, representing what their views are, or how, finding clothing for people, because so many people message me and they're like, where do you get your equestrian clothing from, and stuff like that. And just the amount of messages of positivity outweigh the negative. So
the love must feel amazing.
It is amazing. It really is amazing.
And what would you say your biggest achievement has been within social media?
I'm very, very fortunate to work with some incredible brands, including you guys, of course. But yeah, just to be able to work with amazing brands who support me and my sort of goals and things that I want to portray within the equestrian community. And they've been incredibly supportive. I've been to lots of different events with them and things like that. So I think that's been really cool. Yeah.
Do you ever find it nerve-wracking meeting your followers?
No, I love meeting people. I am a big people person, and I love meeting people. So
I know if that was me, I would be like panicking.
I think it was weird the first time someone ever came up to me, and it was like, what do I do?
I was going to say, I can imagine, like, because to you,
I'm just
you.
Ray, yeah.
I suppose that's the best way to put it.
But I think that's what I try to remember when I meet people is like, you're getting what you see on my platforms. So
you are who you say you are.
Yeah, literally.
Do you have a specific dream or goal within the social media?
I would like to eventually have my own clothing brand.
Lovely.
That would be like the big dream.
Yeah.
And obviously I have a lot of backing for it in terms of like support from my followers.
Yeah.
That I think with the ideas that I have, I think it would be very well received.
Yeah.
So that would be the big dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm all here for that. Do you have any advice for any aspiring content creators?
Just be yourself and like unequivocally yourself. Don't let anyone else sway you from doing your own thing, because you know the whole point is to stand out. If you have brands you want to work with and things like that, you need to stand out from other people. So just be yourself and have fun with it. Like, I think most content creators who have done well because they just enjoy what they're doing and they're having a good time with it, and other people see you having a good time and they want to vibe with you. So I think that's the important thing.
Yeah. What do you think sets your content apart from others?
I think I'm really funny.
Don't take yourself too seriously.
Yeah, no,
I
think it's just a case of being myself and having a good time.
I mean, we've been dancing around the shop.
Yeah, literally, just being silly and not caring what anyone else thinks about it. And yeah, I think people love that. Yeah,
you just got to be yourself.
Yeah.
Can you share one piece of advice you wish you had known when you first started your journey?
I think the importance of groundwork with your horse, like starting from the ground, especially because she was 6 when I first got her, but she was very much like a 4-year-old. She hadn't really done a lot.
Okay.
So I did a lot of groundwork with her when I first got her. And, you know, overall, it's helped with things like the clipping, and she used to hate having her face touched. She hated being groomed, which you would never think that now, because she absolutely loves it. And it's obviously bonding. You know, if you expect a horse to carry you and do all these things for you, I think you should take the time to get to know each other and get that bond and that trust with each other from the ground first.
Was there ever a point that you felt like you wanted to give up?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Obviously with the hate and stuff like that, I just thought, why am I putting myself out there just to get ridiculed? But like I say, the positives outweigh the negatives.
Yeah.
So. And in terms of horses, I guess we all get like that occasionally.
It takes one fall, doesn't it, or something like that?
Or even, like, you'll know from being a mum how hard it is to juggle it all. Yeah. Like, I don't have the time to ride as much as I used to.
No.
So sometimes I do think, why do I have a horse when I don't get to ride, really? But yeah, I think things like that make you question.
It does go through your head,
yeah.
doesn't it? Mm-hmm. And how do you see the future of equestrian sports evolving, especially in terms of social media?
I think it's a very dangerous world that we're going through at the moment, because everything's changing. I feel like we're going through a shift. Social media, and obviously being an influencer as a job and things like that is all very new, and there's a lot of pressure for influencers because obviously people look up to you. So it's setting a standard, and also things like AI and that are really, that's really scary.
Yeah, it's really coming to play, isn't it, recently?
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of murky water at the moment. it's hard to say, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say where it's going.
Yeah.
Is there a daily habit or routine that you feel contributes to your productivity?
I aspire to have a daily habit.
It just doesn't exist.
I would love to have a routine, and I feel like I try my best to get into a routine, but I've got a daughter who has never really slept very well.
I feel you.
It's been difficult to try and keep to a routine. I used to, when before having Hazel, I used to do photography full time.
Okay.
I used to do kids' school photography through the week, and then I'd do events at the weekends. And I'd have to be up at like 5:30 to go and do peps before work. And that was not just doing jobs. Like I used to exercise before work and that. So that was my routine, and I can't even imagine doing that now.
I think when you have children, it's like the whole, okay, let's get up early, let's get going, like it just goes out the window.
Especially it takes like an hour at least to leave the house.
Doesn't it? You're like, okay, well, I've got to get myself ready, but oh no, now I've got to get you ready.
Yeah.
It does, it's a whole process.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you have any plans for competing at all coming up, or?
I've been really enjoying going out to clinics because there's no pressure. Everyone at the clinics I've been to has been really supportive. Yeah. And it's just been like a little cheer squad and everyone's just having fun. So I've been enjoying that side of things, but I would love to, I'd love to get some dressage events booked in and some showing events for the year. So,
nice. Is there something with Peps that you would really like to achieve?
I really want to ride at Equii-Est. I love Equii-Est. It's my favourite venue. So I think, to ride around Equii-Est, even if it's Sunshine Tour, like that would be so cool. Yeah.
Just to be in that.
Just to be in
atmosphere, would be like,
I mean, if we could go up the Derby Bank and look at the bottom, that would be the dream, but I don't think that's going to happen.
We can hope. Yeah. And how do you plan on achieving that?
Continue with the clinics and things like that, gaining confidence, going out. I think it helps with the clinics to actually go to venues, but there's obviously no pressure. There's not as much of an atmosphere, but it's still getting out and doing something. Yeah. And gaining experience, gaining confidence, and then a couple of shows, hopefully a county show or two, and then just to get prepared for like a bigger arena.
Get out and about. Do you have any advice for someone who's just starting out in riding?
I think there's a lot of pressure to be like amazing straight away, and it just doesn't happen like that. We're all learning all the time. Every horse has something different to teach you, and I think you just gotta just have fun with it. It should be fun, and I feel like a lot of the time the fun is sucked out of things because, especially with social media, there's this pressure to look perfect all the time, and it's like, it doesn't always look perfect, especially if you've got a youngster or, just try to have fun with it. And I
love the fact that you also just want to be doing clinics and going out training and things, because I think social media has the aspect of you should be out showing or you should be going show jumping.
Why have you got a horse if you don't compete?
That's it. And it's nice to just have someone that's like, no, I just want to go out and have some fun.
Hacks, go on beach rides. Just, our time with them is borrowed. And I think if you spend too much time, focusing on all the serious, important stuff, you're missing out on some real, like, quality time with them. Yeah. So,
I totally agree with that. What is your favourite part about being around horses?
The smell.
I just love the smelling of horses.
Peps is really cuddly, so I just love like spending time with her, grooming her, giving her scratches, and that, to me, I find that really rewarding because obviously she didn't used to like it, that. So I just love being around them. I don't know, it's calming.
It's just something about
them. Very stoic animals.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Good question. Out and about competing a bit more would be great.
I like that.
A bit fitter and a bit more up and ready to go and do something. Yeah.
During your journey, has there been a mistake or lesson that's taught you something about yourself?
We all make mistakes.
We do. That is true.
I think like falling off after being pregnant for so long and thinking it was all fine. I think just things like that.
No one tells you about that though, do they? They don't tell you that, like, obviously your body has changed and everything, but you just don't think you're going to lose that much of yourself when you actually have the child, and then you're like, oh, I can't ride like I used to.
I mean, I had another setback back in 2017 where I was actually hit by a horse that was loose at a showground, and I sort of flew, and when I landed, I snapped my right arm. So that was another like big recovery sort of thing. So yeah, there's been a few challenges along the way. Yeah.
Do you think there's any misconceptions about equestrians?
Trying to think. That we're all rich would be one of them. Like
that baffles me.
That I know. Like, where did this idea come from? We're not rich because we have horses. That would probably be the main one.
Yeah. I agree. If you could give younger you any advice, what would it be?
Not to let other people's comments get to me as much as they have in the past. Like, don't let other people's opinions of you dictate your worth or what you want to do in life. Yeah.
And obviously, listeners might not know, but obviously I know that you have, and you've mentioned it, that you have a daughter. How do you juggle motherhood and horses?
Oh, I don't. I try my best. So when she was really little, I had a lot of help from Nick, who's in the crowd right now, in the background.
Sitting in the background.
She helped me a hell of a lot, which I'm very grateful for. And then she sort of started going to nursery a few days, which helped, and her dad works from home, which is also a big help.
Yeah.
But obviously he is working, so
it's hard to look after that.
and she also didn't sleep very well, so it has been very difficult to juggle because
it's really hard, isn't it? When
you can't get up early and go and sort the horses out when you've not been to sleep, and you haven't got a decent night's sleep. So yeah, but it is getting better.
I always felt like when I first had OJ that I had to have all my ducks in a row. It's just not
impossible.
Possible. It's not
It
possible.
is impossible.
It is, yeah. You really do lose yourself a little bit, don't you? When you have these little humans.
Yeah.
Love them to pieces, but it's like, oh gosh.
It is a reality. It's like a shell shock.
Yeah,
big time.
Yeah, definitely. If you could relive one moment from your equestrian journey, what would it be and why?
Holcombe Beach.
Okay.
Yeah, I went there with a friend of mine. Trying to think when it was, 2019 maybe, and it was just the best time. Like, it was just one of the best. Yeah, pure fun. The beach, I don't know if any of you have been to Holcombe Beach, but it's just so vast, and you can just gallop for like anywhere, wherever you want.
The little girl inside of you's like,
yeah, it was literally like a moment from like watching, if you watched horse films as a kid and you're like, oh my god, I want to do that.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my god, I'm doing that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I did it!
Yeah. I mean, I've been to the beach before, but Holcombe was really special.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just a whole ordeal because it was like a 3-hour drive there and back. The poor horses were like that on the way back. So I couldn't stand because they'd been ridden for 2 hours and driven for 6. So
bless them.
Yeah, it was a lot. I wouldn't do it again, but not in one day.
It's just a core memory.
Yeah, it is a core memory. Yeah, for sure.
What can we expect to see next from you and Peps?
Just lots more fun and adventures, giving new things a try. We tried working equitation recently, which we really enjoyed.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe a bit more of that. And take you guys along for the ride. Yeah.
Love this. Well, thank you so much for coming on today. We've loved having you here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're more than welcome. And please, if you did like this, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and hit that all important subscribe button. And we'll see you all for the next one.
Bye.